This is the Italian word of the week, vecchio, which means old. My grandmother always looked like a grandmother. My grandmother at 50 looked the same at 90. She had the same house dress on. Her hair was the same. She was all gray. She had a mop bean in the hand in every picture. It was like, I don't want to say there's no vanity. It was just a different time.
Cawfee Talk.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Cawfee Talk with Tara Cannistraci. Hope you had a great day. I got my chai tea latte because I'm fancy now in LA with oat milk that I'm drinking in my Cawfee Talk mug. Available on my website, guys, tarajokes.com. And I want to, you guys love the Italian words. This is the Italian word of the week, vecchio. Vecchio, Italian-American version of Vecchio, which means old. And I've hit a certain point where things are starting to change in my life. For example, I never noticed that the restaurants, the lights were so dark in restaurants. Like, why can't I see the menu? It's not for any other reason other than they've clearly must have made the lighting darker in restaurants. Because now I need to use my phone's flashlight to see things on the menu. Or perhaps I'm getting older. Little subtle changes are happening, guys. And I'm in denial, but I'm not. Like, all of a sudden, I like lemon desserts. I don't know what that's about. I don't want anything too sweet after I eat. I usually was the girl who had like the brownie sundae. And now I'm like, olive oil cake. That sounds good. And it's funny because I bring this topic up because it's going to happen to everybody, or it is happening, or it has happened to anybody who's listening to this podcast right now. And there's something that was said to me that kind of, I don't want to use the word triggered, but it bothered me a little bit. Somebody said, oh, you just have to age gracefully. And I thought to myself, what? Excuse me, language, but what the fuck does that mean? And why is that said more to women? Nobody says that to guys. Nobody tells men to age gracefully. But like, why should we have to feel as women that we can or cannot do things to ourselves to make ourselves feel good without being judged? And obviously, we're living in a world right now where most people live their lives online, myself included. People are either, even if you're not in entertainment, you're posting pictures of yourself, you're posting, family things, and so everybody kind of has this access to you. So everybody can see you, right? And usually, for the most part, people are only posting the best times in their life or best pictures of themselves. But it kind of really bothered me. And, I think on this podcast, Keita, we talked about like how old Archie Bunker was when he filmed All in the Family, which was like, he was in his 40s, right? That guy, today standards, Archie Bunker looks like a guy at least in his 60s, early 70s.
80s.
You think 80s? Oh, man. Or even I saw a video the other day where a girl was like pouring herself wine because she was the same age that Blanche Devereaux was in the Golden Girls as she is now. But it just, it kind of goes back to what people look like then. My grandmother always looked like a grandmother. My grandmother at 50 looked the same at 90. She had the same house dress on. Her hair was the same. She was all gray. She had a mop bean in the hand in every picture. It was like, they just weren't, there was, I don't want to say there's no vanity. It was just a different time. So I think now, right, as we've changed, and listen, do I think that the way some people, or what people want to do to themselves always looks the best? No, but my opinion doesn't matter. I think the opinion that matters the most, no matter what, like I did this video. I was walking past a New York City public park, and these kids were screaming their heads off. Screaming, like blood-curdling screams. Like, it didn't sound fun at all. It was like, ah, ah. Like, that's how bad the yelling was. It wasn't like fun, playful. And I grab the phone immediately because if everything with comedy is timing, and I go, in case you ever wanted to have, wanted a reason to not have kids, walk past a New York City park. And at that moment, this little girl screamed like she was honestly being ripped from her parents' arms, like blood-curdling screams. Clipped it. It was 15 seconds. People who thought it was funny thought it was hilarious. The people who didn't. Now, I'm very open and honest about my age. The people who didn't find it funny, the majority of the comments were people coming at me and being like, that's because you're too old to have kids. You're 20 years too late to have kids. Listen, I'm not saying I don't look my age, because I'm never trying to not look my age. But the comments were so cruel about age. And most of the times, or if somebody likes me, or if I'm, people ask me how old I am and I say my age, which I'm proud of, I'm 45 years old. People will say things like, oh, you look younger, you look like you're in your 30s, you look like this. Now, whether their perception is correct or the people in the video's perception is correct, really neither of them make a difference. Neither comment makes a difference. What matters is what I see, or what you're seeing when you see yourself in the mirror. That's the most important and really the only opinion that should matter in what you look like or what you choose to do to yourself to make you feel a certain way. But nonetheless, because I am a woman, I am pretty confident that all of those comments came at me, and the biggest insults were about my age. Everybody came at me saying it's too late for me to have kids. First of all, and a topic for a podcast for another day, it's not. Thanks to science. But just the fact that, that is where we hit. That's where we hit below the belt. And then, I went the other day, I go, I'm going for a facial. I want to do this laser that, gets dark spots off my face. And somebody goes, just age gracefully. Excuse me? Who is anybody to criticize what you want to do or what you need to do to feel good about yourself? And first of all, it's self-care. Let's remember we're in a different time right now where self-care is like the new healthcare. The more you do and can do for yourself to feel good mentally and physically is like the biggest payoff. Now, are there people going under the knife or okay. If that is that person's choice, I really don't know where anybody's opinion matters. But we're living in this world where, listen, it's everybody's judging from what we see. I do it myself. I could look at somebody and go, oh my God. But it's not my business to tell them what they should or shouldn't do or how they should age. So yes, avakai, right? I'm getting older. I'm seeing it. I don't have the energy and listen, maybe I do have the energy. Maybe I take for granted the fact that I'm on the road all the time, that I'm filming this podcast, that I'm doing social media, that I'm performing, that I'm in different cities every week, and I go, I'm exhausted. I'm getting older. Or maybe I'm run down. It is a different time. But needless to say, being judged, I gotta be honest, the comments really bothered me when they came about my age. Not because I believe the people. People say things all the time. I get told how ugly I am or, whatever. People are going to say things, how annoying my voice is. Obviously, if you're listening to this podcast, you don't think it's that annoying because you've tuned in. But I'm going to be honest, because maybe and I don't want to say I'm getting insecure, but I am seeing the signs of aging. I think my eyesight is definitely not 20/20 anymore. That bothered me. It bothered me. I felt like the minute I turned 45, my eyesight changed. It just, and I have a joke about how women get better with age, and we do in our minds. And I don't hate on men. I love men. I know we are in a time where it's you don't need a man. I need all the men. I want somebody else to change my tire, to kill the bugs. I want somebody else producing my podcast. But I do think that women, we just have a way of becoming the best versions of ourselves as we get older. And listen, maybe that's for men too in certain ways, but I think a lot of times we don't credit women. Like, if a woman doesn't like the way she looks or if she feels tired, you have to remember something. It was a different time, even back in the day. My grandmother only had one job, and that was to be a homemaker and to take care of the kids. Today, women are working moms. They have full-blown careers. They have social media, which is constantly judging us, or, you know, so if there is something somebody wants to do to alter the way they look or to feel good about themselves, let them. What business? Like, please, if you get anything from this episode, it's never tell a woman to age gracefully. I don't even know what the fuck that means. It really annoys me. I think it's really insulting. Because you wouldn't say that. You wouldn't say that to a guy. But anyway, it was just something that I know you guys like the Italian American words, and as I feel that I am getting a little bit older, avvecchiai. I'm gonna age gracefully in the fact that I'm gonna accept it. And how I'm gonna accept that is I'm gonna go to an ophthalmologist and I'm gonna get my eye checked and I'm gonna get really fashionable, cute glasses that I think will look good on me. That's how I'll age gracefully. No other way should I be judged. Whether it's the way I've decided to do my hair, or what makeup I decide to wear, or how I dress. I did a video for I forgot a really big company. I had a coat on, I had a sweater and jeans, and somebody goes, "Why is she trying to dress so young? In a long coat, jeans, and a sweater?" Like, the judgment, like, is wild to me at this point. So I just want to remind you guys, we're all gonna get there. Whether you're young, like I said, and listening to this, whether you feel the same changes I feel, or whether you're older, there gets a point where you feel it. And anything you have to do to feel good about yourself is what you should do. I know I'm still young enough, right? I had Dante Palmentary on the podcast, and he talked about how his dad was broke into his 40s, right? You look at people who have made it or started the journey of their dream. And a lot of people, I think there's like a long list of, like, even the writer of, although she's wildly crazy now. What's the name of I can't think of it, but like a famous author was like homeless and didn't make it till she was in her 40s. And like, if you look at like Morgan Freeman didn't get his first acting job till he was late into his 50s, like iconic figures. Like, there's so much centered around age, and we're so hard on ourselves, and people are constantly judging us to begin with, that whatever you have to do, whether it's start something you've always wanted to start, whether it's do something to make yourself feel better about yourself. I don't care if it's a new haircut. I don't care if it's plastic surgery. I don't care if it's a new wardrobe, or a class you take, or something else you've always wanted to do that you've never done. You're never too old. I don't give a shit what it is, because you shouldn't be focused on the end goal, which I focus on way too much. Whereas I am not even enjoying the fact, self-disclosing, that I get to live in LA and New York, and that I have all these great friends, and that I'm getting to do what I love every night. I'm paying my bills off of comedy, and I still sometimes go too far ahead. Like, if you start something or you do something at any age because you've always wanted to do it, that's where the enjoyment is. So it's never too late to do what you've always wanted to do, whether it's, like I think we were talking to Dante about starting comedy. For me, it's like, coming out to LA when I've always wanted to come here. I'm doing it at 45. Like, that's not young, right? Chaz making it at 50 wasn't young in today's standards, but it really is, because he hit a whole other chapter of his life he was able to live out after making it, still continuing to live his dream. So, avvecchiai, everybody. We're all going to get old. We're all there. I'm going to choose to embrace it. That doesn't have to mean what you think aging gracefully means. So whether you think I look good or whether you don't, it really shouldn't make a difference. Even if you get compliments in the comment section, I appreciate them. But at the end of the day, the person you are looking at in the mirror is the only person whose opinion should matter. It's cliche, but it's truth. So I just wanted to talk to you about that. I wanted to bring an Italian American word into something I am dealing with. And I love these solo episodes just because it kind of gives you a window into some of the thoughts that I have. Please, thank you so much. Shout out to Tommy Stiggs, who's been sharing all of these podcasts. He has his own Cawfee Talk, and he's been giving me so much love. So thank you guys. Again, these aren't always meant to be funny, but you know where you can find the funny, and that's at one of my shows. I would love, love, love to see you guys. I have Baltimore on the table, Long Island, Jersey, Red Bank, Pittman, Atlantic City, Stamford, Connecticut. I'm coming back to Florida. I'll do Fort Lauderdale. I'll do Sanford, which I'm told is close to Orlando because so many of you were reaching out and asking me to come to Orlando. I'll be about 20 minutes from Orlando. So all the shows, guys, are listed at tarajokes.com. Again, I'd love to see you at a show. If you want your Cawfee Talk mug, it's listed on my website. Take a picture and I'll post it. And guys, have a great day.
Cawfee Talk.